And welcome to the Universes Collide, where we appropriately are colliding two channels, the CodeX Cantina with honorary guest member...
The Nerdy Narrative, Leslie Smith. What up, nerds?
You gonna sneak that in my video? We have a very exciting tag for you. If you guys have not heard of Mason in the Dark, Leslie and I have become smitten because Mason, I assume is this gentleman's name, he talks about how he became blind 4 years ago. His sense of humor is fantastic. One of his first videos was the dumb things people ask to blind people. And it will have you rolling when you watch/listen to that video. Go check out his channel. We have an original tag from him today called Universes Collide. So what better way to celebrate it than the collision of our two channels here?
Absolutely.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Let's get ready for this tag, okay? Question number 1 is the switch up. Choose 2 protagonists from 2 different series that you'd love to see swap. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to name 2 characters, and then Leslie has to complete. Well, I picked 2, so she's going to have to pick 2 characters to swap with. So, Leslie, are you ready for who I selected?
Yes.
The crime duo, I guess crime's the crime-solving duo. Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Who's going to swap? Who's going to swap places with them?
I'm going into the world of movies and choosing none other than Jay and Silent Bob.
I have a feeling like it would be hysterical to watch Jay and Silent Bob in the Sherlock Holmes universe, right? Like solving these crimes with buffoonery.
Oh my gosh. Well, they wouldn't solve anything, but...
but the Sherlock Holmes one going to Jay and Silent Bob, they just like solve everything instantly. Like it'd be like 2-second episodes. They'd be like, this is so easy and stupid.
Oh my gosh. Just visualizing those two in each other's worlds, that would be amazing. That needs to happen. I need to see Jay and Silent Bob in London. Somebody comes knocking on the door, and instead of Sherlock or Watson, they get Silent Bob. And he's just standing there looking at them, smiling and shaking his head up and down.
Yeah. All right, question number 2. V is for villainy. Choose a villain that you would like to see get their own story. And I'm going to go with Jafar because everybody knows that sequel about, Jafar. That wasn't really about him. And we got robbed of a true villain story. We need the Thanos adventure for Aladdin with Jafar.
My husband would agree with you. He's got a really awesome Jafar tattoo. I would choose a new recent favorite that I have a huge crush on. And that would be the Darkling from the Grishaverse. I want a book of his story. Because he's got a long past. Before we met him in book 1 of Shadow and Bone, he's been around for centuries. And he did some stuff. And I want to know about it. But mainly, I just want to read about this man because...
My wife just started picking up Lee Bardugo. Question 3, the adaptation. Choose a character or story that exists in another type of media that you would like to see novelized. I'm going to cheat again because it has been novelized, but it wasn't good. I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VII, the greatest universe ever created to mankind. And my son always asks me, he's like, hey, Daddy, don't you want to play your favorite game? Because he likes to just watch me play Final Fantasy VII. I love that game.
Oh,
I would love to see quality novels from that universe come out. No offense.
Yeah, I would sit and watch my youngest brother, play that all the way through. I mean, I was amazed just sitting there watching the story unfold. But I would choose a new favorite that I've discovered. It's called The Nevers. And what it is, I would love to have that in book format. The show, they have a huge budget apparently because the effects are gorgeous. But it is a group of women who have some unusual abilities and apparently have uncovered a mission that they are supposed to be the ones saving the world. It's got a very, very big Benedict Cumberbatch type of Sherlock feel to it. There's a huge mystery, and one of the girls, her ability is the use of electricity. So she's all the time creating these really cool inventions that do all this stuff. It is so amazing. If you haven't watched it yet, you need to go watch it, and then you'll agree you would want that in book format.
Have you seen the, there's been some articles recently on the new Lord of the Rings series that's coming out, and I read that so you mentioned a really high budget. The budget for that is actually higher than what Avengers Endgame was. So that's pretty sweet. So if that one's awesome, that would be another one. I know Silmarillion kind of covers the history. That would be one that could potentially fit this answer too, if it's pretty awesome for it to be novelized too. All right, question number 4, the crossover. Choose 2 characters from 2 universes that you'd love to see crossover. And again, I'm going to choose one, and then Leslie has to finish it. So my 2 characters that I want to see go to another universe, everybody's favorite buddy duo, the ultimate symbol of friendship, Sam and Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
And I'm going to choose to take that as the movie version of Sam and Frodo.
Yeah.
Got on my nerves. They were ridiculous. The only thing Sam was good for was making food. That was
Boil
it.
them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
So, I would love to see a crossover where Glocta from the First Law trilogy and Severo, a little howler from the Red Rising series, they cross over, because I'm going to tell you something. Those 2 would have the One Ring thrown into Mordor, lickety split. There would not be 3 movies, however many books, nothing. It would happen in the first 15 minutes. Because can you imagine those 2? Glocta, if you don't know, he is a master of torture.
Oh.
And Severo he doesn't torture, but he gets stuff done. He is Amos from The Expanse. There's no standing around. There were so many times in the Red Rising series where they decide, okay, something needs to be done, and they're looking around. They're like, well, where's Severo? He's already off doing it. So that would be amazing.
Okay, that's a good choice. All right, the tonal shift. Choose a story that you would like to give a different tone or genre to. So I took an interesting one here. So you know those Marvel comics where it's like alternate universe what ifs? They did one with zombies, where a zombie plague comes out, and what would happen if superheroes became zombies? And that was pretty sweet.
Oh.
I'm actually going to go off the rails here, and I'm going to choose Leo Tolstoy's short stories to enter into the zombie verse. A bunch of holy peasants that just become zombies. I think that would be hysterical.
That would be horrible, because those Russian guys write some really kind of... There's a lot of bad stuff that they write about, and I cannot imagine with zombies. That's... the next time I read Tolstoy, I'm going to have issues. Because I'm going to be imagining zombies.
Well, Tolstoy will show you the light.
For mine, I would choose to make As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner a horror story. And instead, when the mother dies, she actually becomes a vampire. And when the husband and all of the kids, because this story was not about her death and them taking her to put her to rest where her family lives in Jefferson County. It is about all the other characters. None of them really cared she was dead. They all had all their other problems that they were constantly whining about and fighting about and doing all of these crazy things. She would just come back and just smoke them all. She wouldn't even make them undead because she doesn't want them to be with her for the rest of her immortal life. She would just take them out.
That's good. That's good.
That would be hilarious.
All right, now we're going to do tagging, and we're going to do some more universes crashing. I'll tag 2 people more from the literary community, and Leslie's going to choose 2 people from the fantasy community. I'm going to choose Steve Donahue, who I think is always on the lookout for new tags, and then Brian, who's always buried in tags for how many people tag him. I'm sure we'd love to hear your answers on Mason's tag here.
Is that Brian from Bookish?
Did I not say Brian from Book? You guys should, at this point, if you tag a Brian, is it just assume Brian from Bookish? Like, he gets tagged in everything that exists.
Well, I'm going to choose from the fantasy side. I'm going to choose Alan from the Library of Alexandria because I know he is into all sorts of different media. So he would be a really great one to come up with some really good answers. So I'm going to tag Alan from the Library of Alexandria. And then I am going to choose Klaus from the Contradictorian, I believe is what he's named his channel. I can't say that word very well, but I think Klaus would have some amazing answers as well for this one. So I am really excited to see what those two come up with.
No, no matter how you pronounced it, Klaus would probably just tell you did it wrong anyways, right?
That's true. That's kind of what he does.
All good channels. Love all these people. Guys, go check out who we tagged, but also go check out Mason, who did such a cool job with his initial tag. I love this concept. Guys, we post videos every Monday and Thursday. If you're down for discussions and funs and more collisions like this, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button to join us on the journey. Una out.
See you guys later.